Community Insight. I am your host, Reverend Dr. Coles. We always bring new guests on the show. I'm sharing so many great information. And here is another one. I would tell you right now, get your pen, your paper, get it ready, because you're about to hear another exciting ministry here in Pitt County. I want to welcome Miss Cat. Miss Cat, welcome to the broadcast.
Thank you so much for having me, Pastor Coles. This is so exciting.
Well, Well, thank you for being there. You do a whole lot. I had the opportunity to come to your office and see what you're doing. You spend time with. I thank you for that.
Yeah.
You let them know who you are, which
Yeah.
I know who you are, but who you are, what you do.
Yeah. So my name is Kat Nell, and I am the executive director at Hope of Glory Ministries.
Okay. And Hope of Glory Ministry is right there on Arlington Avenue, right in the corner. You can see the big sign as
Yes.
you get up
A
there.
city on a hill.
Oh, I like that.
Yes.
City on the hill.
Cannot be hidden.
Can't be hidden.
No.
And the work that you guys do is like out of sight. And I want you to share the work and the mission. I guess we speak about what's the mission with it first, and then
Yeah.
we go into it.
Wouldn't that be really awkward if I didn't know our mission? You know how many people don't know their missions of their organizations? That's a side note. Sorry. This is going to be fun. But we are a ministry that believes in relieving burdens, empowering families, and proclaiming Christ. And so what we do at Hope of Glory, a lot of people know us as a thrift store, and I love that. If you don't know that we're a thrift store, please come shop with us. We're open to the public. We take donations. People can come and also shop. They can get items, and then that money goes right back into our co-op program. And so what that is a program we started in 2016. We believe in the hand up model instead of a hand out. And with the co-op, we have families living paycheck to paycheck. They have to be living in Pitt County right now. We'll see what the Lord does in the future. But for right now, we only serve in Pitt County. But the short of it is it's a program that helps families get a financial stability. So they do pay a fee every month. They attend finance classes. They have a financial mentor. They volunteer with us 1 hour a month. And if they do all of that, we have a grocery store that you are able to see. It's not a food pantry. It has fresh fruit, fresh produce, meat, cheeses, dairy. Meal making items. So our families grocery shop with us. Instead of going to like Food Lion, Aldi, Harris Teeter, they come to us and they shop normally. They pick out their items. We check them out like a grocery store. We do, a lot of them are going through hard situations. A lot of them feel shame for being in the situation that they're in. And some of it might be because they're going through a divorce. They've had maybe unwise spending habits in the past. Emergencies happen, you know. So our families are families that are right there that, you know, they're paying their bills every month, but if a car accident were to happen or their air conditioning would go out, they wouldn't be able to pay for that. And so we come alongside of them and we want to help them get to financial stability. So we relieve a little bit of their food burden. So they probably receive about $400 or $500 worth of groceries a month from us, but we empower them to take that money that they would have spent at a grocery store and put it towards a debt, put it towards a savings. And so we see proof of that. They do have to show us, hey, you said, or our goal was to pay $50 a month on my Visa credit card. They have to show us that. Proof of accountability. They have to pay their fee. They have to meet with their mentor. So it's coming alongside of them, but then also teaching them the biblical and principles of how to steward the money the Lord's given us.
Wow.
I know. I didn't take a breath, I don't think.
Let me say this. Let me hit the thrift shop. First thing
Yeah.
you have, and I tell you, I've been there, and also you have helped me with others that need things and nice clothes and furnitures and stuff
Yeah.
there. So, and like I said, you do take donations. So,
We
I
do.
mean, I'm gonna say it. If it's something that needs to go to the other direction,
Yes.
please take it there.
Yes.
Because we don't do that, but if it's something nice, bring it there.
Right.
That you know that we can use. Thank
Yeah.
you for that.
My
So
biggest thing is I say support your local thrift stores. I'll say it like that.
support your local thrift store. I will use that way. And so, and the funds that people, when they bring it there, and it's going right back into the ministry. And that is just like a beautiful concept of how that works.
It is.
And then I look at, and now we're going to speak about, I love the idea of not a hand out, but a hand up. And, and so many of nonprofits, and, sometimes I go to meetings and you hear them talking about, well, everybody got a food bank and blah, 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 blah. And one person came like, who gets food? I said, well, underneath our contract, won't call the agency name out, underneath our contract, we do not ask for any kind of identification. You can give it to anyone that needs a food, and you've got the have a law of making sure you follow state regulation.
Right.
So what you guys are doing is really helping the people, and that, I love that because we have to help them. We're not helping them. We're just giving another box of food. So what you're doing is taking the initiative of working with them, asking them questions, and finding what they bills while we there, and that is awesome because I could imagine that, people, when it comes to credit and when it comes to bills, some people wasn't taught that, Ms. Cat.
I agree. Even I wasn't really in school. They don't teach that really anymore.
Yeah. And so if you wasn't taught, I wasn't taught, you had to learn this, and people are so much in debt. And they try to figure out how to pay this and pay that, and they consider upside down. They over the means of funding. So what y'all guys are doing is not just giving them. It's not a pantry.
No.
Is helping them, and you gotta pay something.
They do. It keeps them accountable. It keeps them empowered, and it feels like they have some skin in the game. And they are some of the most hardworking people I've ever met. I do believe that there are seasons, like there are seasons if you fall and you need emergency food. I understand that, and there are multiple organizations in this town that can give that. So I love that we can collaborate through different organizations in this town. But if people fall within our season, we love for them to fill an application, stuff like that. So I feel like seasons are good because we can support those means in every organization.
And sometimes we could be not helping them. We could be hurting them because you may hear me say some things like, and I'm gonna say it. They get food. Some people may be getting food stamps, Ms. Cat, and they're not using those food stamps to buy the food. And they're selling them. Yeah, I said it. They selling them.
We should go into partnership at meetings. Like I think we should, because you can just lay it down, and I'm like, he's saying everything I'm thinking.
Because it's just the truth.
It is.
They sell it, and then they go to any food places get food. And I'm gonna tell you, my eyes have seen folks who have a vehicle. They go to all food pantries.
Like all three, they hit all 4 or 5 in town every Saturday.
This one's every Thursday. It's almost remind me of those people who do like a coupon.
Right.
They got all these coupons. They know what, and so they go and their cars is full with food.
Yeah.
And somebody have food stamp and they don't. I can get food here. No. Right. So if they get food stamp, they should be using their food for food. But if you come into a point of debt. And we have middle class folks. Yes. And I won't even call out. You have some people that's working for the county in the city, right? That can't make ends meet.
Yeah, they don't qualify for food stamps. They make too much, but then they also don't make enough they might make enough to pay all their bills, but one little thing, even with our families, like school supply shopping, that stuff is so expensive. Yeah. So we were able to give our families some school supplies to relieve their burdens. But even then, they're making their ends meet, but then school supplies pops up, or Thanksgiving or Christmas. And so those are the families. And we're not against governmental assistance. I just like to say, have a conversation with me, because what you were just saying, like if you're on $900 in food stamps, you don't need our program. But we do. We had a family that was on $50 a month. You and I could spend $50 on 4 items now, So that's where I kind of get, because it was actually a mom working full time with 2 children, and that's what she qualified for. And I got really hot. I said, "You're telling me you work full time and you only make $50 in food stamps?" But yeah, It's crazy. So that's what our program's for, is to really meet that gap of people, the ones that are working hard. They're trying, they want to not only change themselves, but that they want to change their children. They want to change that next generation. They don't want their children to be in the situation that they are. And so that's what I love. And then I also love that we get to come alongside our families. They're in the program to up to 3 years. And you were saying earlier, you mentioned something about I get to know them and like their story and, how did we get here? You just don't wake up one day and you have a lot of debt. So what happened? What probably a crisis, what situation? And so to learn those things and then to watch them after year 1, year 2, and then year 3, I'm probably bawling like a baby at their graduation because I get to see where they came from. I know that story, and then I watch them overcome that. We've watched people come back to the Lord. We've watched marriages be restored. I mean, it's just, I could talk about the co-op all day. And at the end of the day, if we don't keep Christ at the center of it, we could all fall back. And so that is also something that I always yes, we push finances, but we also push hey, this is the Lord, And so there might be something that I do because the Lord is pushing me to do that. Maybe that's cover one fee a month for a family because I know what just happened, and that's wisdom from the Lord, because you never want to knock someone back down that's already knocked down. But if we don't keep Christ at the center, we could be running.
You said a mouthful right there.
I did. I'm sorry.
No, that was a good mouthful because we have to keep Christ in the center of what we're doing and to hear their story, because sometimes people never ask the question.
Yes.
They never ask the question. What happened? How did you get there? And I could tell you so many things can happen, Ms. Cat, when we don't talk to people at their time. And, I'm not trying to promote suicide, but it goes into a mental illness state. Money, these things goes on in families, and it builds up. Marriage is not right. They fighting over money. You got to get a job, Bobby. When you going to get a job, Bobby?
Yes.
I'm doing everything. Your kids, but, and there's so much stress that goes on, and these things. And so to have something that can understand where they're going at, and the most important thing, if we could connect them to the Father,
yes,
you know what I'm saying, His Son Jesus, in which we having those conversations and they can understand it, because He said He will supply all our needs, and we know that. But He said faith without work is dead. But you got to do something if the food came in your plate.
Right.
You got to take the fork and go up and down,
right?
Or the spoon, to feed yourself. So I love that idea, and I love the point that you helped them with that. Because I'm bold to say what I'm saying because I don't have nobody to fire me but God. I'm not underneath that kind of government where a lot of times these credit cards people give these people credit. And they don't know that if you don't pay it back, that $20 at the end of the month
is now going to be like 60.
Right.
70.
The interest comes on. If you think you spend $100 on January, in February you gave them $50 and you only owe $50. No, you owe the interest of 28% on that. And it grows over and over, and it gets so far down. And then some companies will actually knock your, they gave you, say, hypothetical, they gave you a credit limit of $5,000. They let you know, nobody reads the fine print, they could knock your credit down of what they gave you. And you can say, well, they gave me $5,000. I just spent about $3,000. And they said, now you only got $4,000.
Right.
And now that, what you was paying, woo! And those are the type of hits, and they got to understand how to, and where y'all guys are talking with them about credit and how to pay these bills back.
Yeah.
Don't file for bankruptcy. You don't want them to do that.
Right.
Pay your debtors back. And I love that, how you're working. They got to show that and pay that. So I just say, I commend y'all.
Thank you.
I mean, that needs to be, I know we got it on Pitt counties, and they may be mad as in Martin and Beaufort counties. I'm so sorry. But they need to have this everywhere.
Yeah. It is in the back of our brain. So my predecessor, her, Manny Stewart, it was put on her heart to write a duplication playbook so we do have it in holding that if we ever wanted to duplicate that, if someone ever wanted to come to us and say, hey, we want to put this in Martin County, how do we do it? We do have that playbook. And did I just put that live on air? But, so we know that is something the Lord wants to do one day. And whenever that timing is right, we could definitely duplicate it. But I'm with you. I go to church in Wilson, and they have said that to me multiple times. Can you do this in Wilson? And so a lot of people have really started to catch on to it, and just really the impact of what it is. And one story that I just learned from one of our families is they just sent their daughter, or she just got a full ride to Chapel Hill.
God be the glory.
I know, right?
Wow.
And so I feel like when people are like, oh, I'm living on hard times, I'm down in the dumps, and it's like, no, like, you can come alongside this. Your children are watching what you're doing. And I think because of like her parents' perseverance, her parents' willingness to be humble, to be like, hey, I need help, also gave her the strength to be like, hey, I want to do whatever I can to not have to have my parents pay for college. And she got a full ride to Carolina, and that's just amazing. Wow. Yeah. We're so excited.
You must have 1,000 success stories.
We do.
To hear that you making changes and making a difference in people's life. I think when we get up, we have another day to get right. That's what I believe. But when you start to make changes in people's life, you start to see it. That is the multiplication.
Yeah.
That things continue going forward. And when I came to your facility and seeing a co-op where you have all these nice machines and things like that, and you got vegetables, you got meat, you got this, for something like that, you're right, $50. I mean, I just went to the store today, and I'm like, gosh,
right.
I said, did I put too much? I didn't know the number. It was way high. Like, whoa.
Right.
So, and it's not $50 ain't nothing today because I mean. Hey, listen, just getting something from Uber Eats,
right?
Like I told my daughter, they got something from Wingstop come to the house, it's $80, and this is like, huh?
Right.
So let's not talk about grocery store.
Right.
Everything is high.
It is.
But when you say, they could pay for $50 a month, and which is showing off them to take their money to pay towards their bills, that is so important for them.
Yeah.
So the work that you guys are doing, because we do an intake form with us through Churches Outreach Network, so we can find out what they have a need for. And I tell them, listen, when I tell them you don't have a budget, and trying to figure out something, I'm sending you to Hope of Glory.
Yeah.
Go there, make an appointment, and get connected with that. There's so many people probably listening to this broadcast right now doesn't have finance information. I'm not going to just throw something out there. I don't know if y'all guys do this or not. Do y'all guys sometimes help people who just with the finance itself to know about finance?
So we've had a couple people reach out to us and say, hey, can we meet? Because our mentor coordinator, she's amazing. She oversees all of our like mentoring, and she has met with a couple families before. At first, they just wanted some financing like tips, and then both times when they would leave her, they had applied for our program. So we do have people that are, and that's fine because people still I just said a lot, and people are like, what did this girl just say? So sometimes it takes coming and opening up your budget and being real. Like when you have to write down every little thing, $2 from this gas station, $5 here, like you might think you have a grasp on, I my finances are fine. But then when you literally write it down, then both of them were like, oh, I see. And then they both joined. And so that is a possibility. If our mentor coordinator has the availability and the time, we could definitely talk about that with her. And because some people just need the basic budgeting,
They really do. Now, I got these people waiting with their pen and paper, and they didn't heard us to get it ready. So how could someone be a part of this program?
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Explain to what they need to do. What's the contact phone number, or website we need to go to?
Right. So right now for our application, we do ask that everything if they were to stop by Hope of Glory and ask for an application, with that application, there will be what we call a supporting document, and then also your financial assessment. So we do right off the bat ask for your income and then all of your expenses, your mortgage, your rent, your utilities, your car payment, car insurance, cell phone, any expenses that you pay. And then we do also ask for proof of that, like proof of accountability. And we started, so the program we started in 2016. When we started implementing the proof of all of these documents, when they turned in their application, we started that in 2018. We saw the dropout rate significantly decline because we saw if you're willing to do that work up front, you're willing to gather all that information for us and then provide it for us so we can use your application to see if you qualify, then you're willing to do the hard work of our program. And so that's kind of why I asked that they stop by. So if they need to have like a personal conversation to kind of understand, and then they just turn it back into Hope of Glory. But I do not review applications until I have all of their supporting documents. And so I like to tell people too, we're very upfront and honest and transparent. It's almost like weight loss. You have to step on the scale to see a starting point for your weight loss. You have to open up your finances to us. You have to be willing to get vulnerable. Finances are vulnerable. You have to be humbled sometimes. And so that is the way we do it right now. So stopping by the thrift store, asking a cashier for an application, and then they would turn it right back into Hope of Glory. And they can even put on there that they heard you and I talking about this. That helps me too, to know, hey, where's that referral coming from? And so, yeah, that's the best way right now.
Wow, and I like that because you need all documents. Don't be holding back. And like, you know, if you know you got a Finger Hut bill that you pay in Finger, I could pay it off. Everything needs to be. That'd be the same if they was filing for backward. They want to know every document, who all your credit is,
right?
And you put them all down, and don't hold back. Well, y'all want to know all my business, but this program's not for you,
right? Exactly.
You know, don't you know, we're here to help you. I can only help you if you help me help you.
Yes, there you go. See,
you know what I'm saying?
You
so
get it.
If they can't bring the information, then there's nothing we could do for good. When you holding back, with the Spirit trying to help you to get done.
Right.
Don't hold nothing back. Tell us where it's at. We're gonna work on this until you give me all the documents. Then that's gonna sit right there in the pile. Right. And after a while, it sits there in that other pile. Before you know, that pile go whoop. Gone. Yeah. You know, because we don't need to be bothered. It's going to be just shredded out.
Yeah.
Now, here's another question. We are a 501(c), and there's people listen to this program. Well, I don't need this program for me, and I just love the things you're doing. So glad you said that. You know, how could they make a donation? We able to accept donations because we are a 501(c). So how can we make a donation? How we should write the check? Where should we send it at?
Yeah. Those are great. I love when questions like this get asked. So there's a couple different ways. On our website, there is a place to donate. You could donate specifically just to the co-op program, and that'll go towards the program. Or you could donate to General Fund, which goes to the umbrella of Hope of Glory, which could go towards the co-op. It's pretty much saying, hey, Kat, we trust you to steward that where you see fit. And then also, if you were looking to write a check, our mailing address is also on our website, and you could just make it out to Hope of Glory. Or if you wanted to stop by, you could come shopping, and then you could leave a donation as well. So there's a lot of different ways to give. We're also always looking for organizations or churches that want to host household item drives. We always need toilet paper, paper towels, laundry detergent, dish soap. That is not grant funded. So I can write grants for food. It's very limited, the things that we can write for household items. And you and I both, we still use toilet paper every day, laundry detergent every day, you know, so those are items that our families are still having to purchase if we don't have it.
Wow. Ms. Kat, thank you so much for sharing that. So they could go to the Hope of Glory website. If they make a donation, they can stop by the store, make a donation, and then they could choose on the website where they want the funds to go.
Yep. Or they could send a check in the mail. That's fine too.
We take the stamp, send it in the mailbox. Amen. Again, you have heard Ms. Kat. We want to thank Hope of Glory Ministry of the work they're doing. For those who are listening, for those who need help, this is the opportunity to help yourself. It is not what you don't have, it's what you think you need to stop you, to make that change in your life. It all starts with you. There was a song by Michael Jackson, Start with the Man in the Mirror.
Yes.
So talking about you. For those who's able to contribute, please contribute. Go into your heart and contribute to a good cause. You know, plant a seed to something that's doing something and making positive in the community. helping people get out of debts. We want to thank you for listening to our broadcast. We need your help. If you want to donate, please donate. Go to Hope of Glory or go visit Miss Cat. She'd be more than glad to see you. And for those who like to host, because we do need laundry detergent, we need all type of, even diapers we need, as well as toilet tissue. Those stuff's not grant funded. Please help us. We thank you for listening to our broadcast. God bless. See you next time.